Hello. I want to teach you about the 216. The 216 is a 3-card spread. It's a 3-card spread that I created and put in Essential Tarot, Unlocking the Mystery, right here. And it's 216 variables to the 3-card spread. So most 3-card spreads, you have past, present, and future, 3 positions. With the 216, what that does is it takes those 3 positions and it randomly selects one of 6 different subjects that we can look into as they pertain to this question we're looking at. They're randomly selected. And so this forces you to see the question from a lot of different angles. And so there's 6 possibilities for each position. And you just use a die, 6-sided die, any 6-sided die. And you would roll the dice for each position. Here we got 6, roll it again, you got a 1, you roll it again, you got a 2, whatever. So 6, 1, 2. And then what we have here is I'm going to bring it up on the screen, is we have a chart that, okay, now here you see these positions. Position A, B, and C are basically 1, 2, and 3 on a 3-card spread, past, present, and future. A being past, B being present, C being future. But now we're not going to use those. What we're going to be doing is we roll a die for A, and let's say we end up with a 2 for A. Then we roll a dice again for B, and we get a 5, let's say. And then we roll a dice again for C, and we get, let's say, 2 again, another 2. So we got 2, 5, 2. So that means now our position meanings are modify 2 for A, then 5 for B, and then 2 again over here for C, which is influence. So we got modify, substitute, and influence. Those become our 3 positions. What could be modified? What could be substituted? And how can we influence? What could influence this situation? Or maybe how can we influence the situation in some way? What influences are there? Those become the 3 things we're looking into. Those were randomly selected by a pair of dice. Now, this list of subjects that could be used for each position were ones that I came up with. You could create your own. You could have past, present, and future in there if you wanted it. My number 1, I have right across is strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities. If you all threw ones, that's another way I use past, present, and future. I mean, the 3-card spread is what are the strengths of this, what are the weaknesses of this, and what are the opportunities coming that I can look for. But I would have to throw all ones for each one of those positions to get those. So you're going to be randomly, what you're doing is you're randomly forcing yourself to randomly see this question from different angles, different perspectives. And what that does is it forces you into right brain thinking. Now you got to use your imagination. It takes you out of your learned knowledge, and it makes you come up with ideas you didn't think of before. And that's what we're looking for with a card reading. And then from there, you would put a card into each one of those positions to represent or to interpret this thing in some way to, number 1 position, modify it, and number 2 position to substitute something. What could be substituted with the number 5 and B position, and what could be influenced with the number 3 position. This is a nice way to go about it, as far as just, you don't know what you're going to be looking into here. And it does bring up new ideas. So you're seeing your question from different angles. Reason it's called the 216 is because there's 216 variations there from what could be selected. 216 different combinations here. 6 in each one is 216 total. 6 times 6, the way you figure that is 6, number one, the A column, 6 times number B column is 6. So 6 times 6 is 36. Times 6 again with the C column is 216. And that's exactly how many combinations you have here with this. There's a lot of things you could look into. And you're not selecting them. You're not thinking about, well, what could I be looking into here? No, it's telling you. And it's like asking you a question. I think it's, once we understand what we're doing with the tarot cards, it makes things like this come up easy to work on and create. And that's why I started writing about the tarot, because now we can understand why this system works. After centuries of mystery, I came across this amazing find about how the tarot works with conceptual blending and mind maps and things like that have never been seen before with tarot cards. But understanding why something works allows you to refine it and make it better now, which is something we've never been able to do in the past because we didn't understand why the system works so well. And like I said, you could actually change these positions to anything you want it to be. Or you could take 2 dice and then you could go with it would be 2 through 12, and you'd have, I don't know what, I'd have to calculate how many positions that would be. You could have 11 combinations for each position. But 6 is plenty for each position. And like I say, you can come up with your own. You could have past, present, and future being one of them in there. Past in position 1, present in position 2, and future in position 3. So you could do a lot of different things with this. But it's important to understand with a reading how important it's, how key the position meanings are in what you're doing. Because these are, again, I want to say it's important to have a question, what you're looking into. And with that, it's important that we look at this in sections. And that's what a card spread is doing. Each position of a card spread is an aspect of the question we're looking into. The meaning of that position is supposed to be reflected in some way as how can that meaning be used to be something constructive to this thing we're looking into. And then we lay a tarot card in there to give us ideas as how this tarot card could be related to that position's meaning, and those meanings related to the question we're looking into. So it works out to be a very constructive exercise and a very constructive way to look at a question. And I think it's very helpful. And you can come up with some amazing stuff with that. So the position meanings that I put in here are, I have strengths as far as positions 1. Strengths, modify, how can this be modified? The timing of it, what should be in place, or when should I act on this? What should be in place before I act? Then in number 4, I have caution. What should I be cautious about here? What should I be careful with? Is there some danger there that I might not be seeing that I should watch for as I move forward in this? Number 5 is restrictions. How am I restricted here? And how is that hurting me in some way with this? How is it limiting me? Can those restrictions be taken away? So we're looking at the restrictions. And number 6 is advance. So how can I advance on this? If I've been stuck in this situation, how can I break away from that and advance in this? Or even if I wasn't stuck, how should I go about advancing on this? And a tarot card thrown into that position will give me ideas on how to advance or how to strengthen what kind of strengths I have, or how I would modify this, or what needs to be in place in my timing before I move, or when should I move on this. Number 4, how should I be cautious about this? What am I not seeing? Or number 5, how can I free up these restrictions, or how do I deal with them? And then number 2, the B, which is normally present, we have, what are weaknesses that I should be looking at here that I don't really want to try to use because I'm weak at, or I need to strengthen. I should focus on, how can I focus on these weaknesses that I have where I might be vulnerable in some way as I move forward? How do I create something new with this objective? Number 2, maybe there's a key location I should be thinking about to get things started with. Focus on a location. Number 4, what could be eliminated in this situation that would help me if it was eliminated? Maybe there's something there that's blocking me, that there's some way I can eliminate it, that would be good. Number 5, maybe I can't eliminate something, maybe I should substitute something. How can I substitute something for something else here? What can be substituted? Or number 6, what could be rearranged as far as this situation that would work out better for me if I did rearrange? So a tarot card placed in there, I would look at have the card trying to give me ideas on how to rearrange something, or how to look at my weaknesses, how to create something. Look at how does this tarot card show me a location, or how does this tarot card show me what I can eliminate or substitute? And then we have the third position, the C position, C column. Number 1, we have opportunities. A card placed there is show me what kind of opportunities I should be looking for that I would be having in the future here, that I should try to watch for and look out for and grab when they're there. Number 2 is influence. How is this influencing me, or what can I do to influence others or influence the situation in some way that would be helpful to me to move forward with this? The number 3 is the strategy. How's my strategy on this? What are my plans? What am I trying to do? Am I doing things in the right order? Are the things I'm trying to accomplish to get this accomplished, are they a good strategy? Do I have a strategy? Maybe I should make one. Number 4 is assertive. How can I be more assertive on something here? Press it a little bit more without offending people or getting people upset with me in some way. What can I do to move this forward on my own, or in ways that are not going to disrupt anything or make it worse? What are the differences? Number 5, looking at differences. If there's more people involved than just you, there could be a lot of differences here. What are they? How can we handle them better? And number 6 is stabilize. How can things be more structured to run smoother as this process continues? This works a lot better than just what was in your past, what's in your present, and what's going on in your future. And what's really key about this, what gives it a strength, is it's randomly selected with a die. So you're not thinking about what to look into. You're being told, look at this, look at that. Forcing you to use your imagination, which means you're also using your intuition, because it's the same side of the mind, the right brain thinking. Randomness is what it's all about. That's why there's a random tarot card placed there. You got to interpret that tarot card to make sense in the situation. Forces you to use your imagination. Instead of looking at it from your learned knowledge, you're looking at it in a whole different light now. And that's what we want, because that's where new ideas are going to come from. Ideas we never saw before. The randomly selected tarot card is what I call the procedure that's used is called conceptual blending, a psychological term and a psychological technique that's used today by a lot of people, and it's exactly the same as the tarot reading, which is why the tarot reading is so effective. When I first got involved with tarot cards, they didn't know about this, or at least it wasn't a psychological study like it is now, and seeing the potential behind it. Now there's actually applications in place to do conceptual blending and they're identical to a tarot card. And they do exactly the same thing as a tarot card reading. They find answers that we did not see before we applied this thinking process. Answers to something to be done in the future, an idea, and that's what we're doing. And as far as the psychic awareness that comes up with a reading, yeah, that can happen. That can happen. Does it happen all the time? No. But it can. Have some unexplainable insight that you didn't know before. It can happen. Some with more than other people. Some it happens more often. And it might just happen in one position. It might just be one card. But that's big if it does. It's fine. I don't really know anybody in this business that every reading they do, the whole thing is just intuitive. I don't think that's really possible to happen. But I know a lot of readers, and I know that everybody has their own way of thinking about it. And a lot of my friends of mine, and they don't think like me. But a lot of them understand what I'm doing. So anyway, if you look into it, you'll see that it's exactly the same thing, conceptual blending technique and a tarot reading. And that really, as far as I'm concerned, that becomes the biggest study of the tarot that there ever has been, is why this works now. And I'm going to do a YouTube on that again, too. I have one or two out there, but I really talk a lot about it in Essential Tarot, Unlocking the Mystery. And I also talk about it in Bare Bones Tarot, my last book, an in-depth study of the tarot, here somewhere. And that's something I think it would be beneficial for you to understand, that readers from the past were not able to know. Where in the past we were forced to mimic what worked in the past from other people and just mimic it exactly step by step without question, because we didn't know why this was working. Now we do know why. And once you see it, it's kind of hard to deny. It really is. It's hard to deny because it's the same exact procedure for the same exact reason, to find answers we don't know about something to be done yet in the future, to predict the future. So the 216 forces us to randomly ask ideas by these 6 positions in each column about that are aspects of this question we're looking into, whatever it happens to be. The 216, what are 16 different variable combinations of 3 cards, 3 positions, and it works. This video has been brought to you by Mentos. What is this, candy? I don't even know what this is. It's fruit. There's fruit on here. This is fruit. It's also brought to you by Ritz Crackers. November 14th is our next tarot get together. Tarotmaps.com. Be a link down below. All are welcome. Come on by, say hello. We all have a good time. You got any questions about the tarot? Bring them in there, and there's pros in there, there's novice and readers in there, there's all sorts of people in there, and everybody's happy to answer your questions. Just a hangout for card readers. And I record it, so if you miss it, they'll be on my channel here. I wanted to mention that I took off a lot of the old ones. I have like 4 years of those in there, I think 3 or 4 years. And the reason I had to do that is because after they're so old, nobody's really going to watch them. These are just visits that we've had. And if you have YouTube videos on YouTube that are inactive, it brings your ratings down. So that hurts me to keep those up there. I know there's some people that watch them and they like them, and sorry, I had to take them down. But I'm sure there'll be a pile of them up again soon, because every month I record them. And I think there's 1 or 2 still up there, but they're more recent. And so that's why I took them down. Anyway, the 216, I hope you like this. And keep throwing cards. We'll talk soon. Bye.